Hi, okay. I am transitioning from video games to animation. I want to see how this goes. I've been seeing a lot of animation videos and like creators and stuff, and I think it would be really cool to make my own channel about this. So we're gonna just go ahead, give it a shot. What do I have to lose, you know? And I've also been watching a lot of people say or do a lot of story time, and I want to give out an experience of mine of when I got a hangover, however long ago it was. But I got a hangover, and I remember the night before. Um, so I was blackout drunk, to let you know. Just like I was just completely blackout drunk. But anyway, let me get to the beginning of the story. So, the beginning of the story, I'm at work. I go into work. I remember that day was just a completely awful day. It was just not fun at all in the slightest. The customers were being really rude. My coworkers were sometimes in pissy moods. Like I don't know. They all of them were almost bipolar. But anyway, I'm the closing make liner, okay, and it's only the manager, two drivers, and one make liner. So at this very young age, I am learning so much management by myself. My manager, she liked to do a lot of fun substances, I'm gonna say. And she would always go out into the parking lot and they would just do what they did. No more further being said. And I remember that so so I noticed that my manager isn't inside at the moment, so I take the opportunity to make me a pizza. And my cousin calls me, and he's like, "Hey man, you trying to hang out? I got." He's gassing up this. I think he called it sake. It was obviously it wasn't alcohol. It had alcohol in it, and I was like, "Oh, I don't know," but after like maybe 10 minutes of just talking and gaslighting, well, okay, not gaslighting, but there was just, let's just say, very fun night game. I eventually agree, and now I'm looking forward to this. I'm like looking forward to this probably really good night, and so I'm like, oh, okay, okay. I cook my food, and then all of a sudden, a bunch of customers just start ordering, and I'm looking at the clock, and it's currently 12, like 12, 15, 14, and I get off at 1 in the morning. I'm looking, I look back into the back to see if my manager's there. Nope. So, one man army right here. I take it. I do all of the orders. Takes forever. Finally, my manager comes in. She sees me doing a couple of pizzas, and I look at her, look back. We were really chill. She had like, I think, what, three kids, and she was going through a really rough time. So if she kind of used me a little bit, but I will say I did in fact offer to help a lot. Okay, I was a pretty good employee, but anyway, I see her. We say hi, and she goes into her office, and she comes up to me all sad and depressed, and she's like, "I have to count inventory now." I was like, "Oh, okay. I'll be ready. I'm gonna be done soon." And she was like, is your make line done?" So as the closing make liner. You have the make line, which houses a lot of the obviously the toppings for the pizza, and then underneath that is a really big freezer, and well, it's a fridge. I'll call it a fridge. It's a very big fridge, and underneath that is where you have like extra things just in case, like extra stuff, so you in case you run out of like let's say tomatoes. If I run out of tomatoes, I just open the fridge, find it, get it, restock the tomatoes, and then bam. But in the back, where across from the washers and stuff, right next to the a shower, which like you used to mop, like you used to fill the mop bucket. I don't know, but anyway, there was a the actual freezer, and that thing, it was a walk-in, of course, but like, oh man, I absolutely hated that thing. It got so cold in there. And what's it called, as the closer, you have to restock both top and bottom, meaning I have to restock the top of the make line, wipe down our hints and little checklists and stuff that we had above all of that. There was a shelf above all of that, and then above that there was windows, because we were stationed like out in the open. Our oven, our dough, all of it was just put out in like the middle of the store. Okay, not in the middle of the store, but in a corner of the store, and people were allowed to just watch us make the dough. Well, not make the dough, but put out the dough, do what we needed to, you know? Now, I finally get done with all of this stuff that I need to do, and I remember Avant. I remember I get a call, and my cousin, he's waiting outside. I'm like, okay, I just got done. Let me go. Let me go ask. Let me go ask my manager. And I get off call. I go walk over to her, and I'm like, hey, can you go check my stuff? And she's like, yeah, give me a second. So I go into our office, into the boss's office. He's not there, but I sit down in his chair. I look at the cameras, and I kind of just see her sitting there for like what felt like 5 minutes. And I do not advise any of this. Remember, this is for educational purposes. Everything in this video is fake and a story. Me being me, I look at the camera that's in the office, and I decide, well then, I'm just gonna smoke. I pull out my candy, and just right there in the middle of the office. Everybody in that office did it. Everybody, absolutely everybody. So I just pull out a card that I have in my pocket, and I just start chiefing on it. And across from the door of the office is the drive-through window. Now it's a bit off to the right, not directly in front of it, so anybody can just like go hide and do what they need to real quick. And I'm gonna tell you, a lot of us were baked while we were there. We were having an absolute blast. A story for another day, but yeah, of course, Domino's, the place. And long story short, because that is a story in itself, I walk outside. I feel like I just got like all of the weight lifted off of my shoulders. Like somebody just pushed all of it off. And I feel so light that I could just fly. Weird, but yeah. I get in the car, we drive, we go to his house, and I remember he's continuing to like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do this, we're gonna drink this. I don't know, he was talking a lot, okay, but eventually he just calmed down. He stopped. He was, I don't know, his ADHD rush just like came down. Finally, we get to his house. We go inside. A little bit later, he pulls it out. We get settled, we get situated, and then he decides, yo, let's go do this. So he whips it out. It's a bottle of sake. And I remember I was completely down. I was like, yeah, go get some cups, go get some glasses, whatever you want. Just get them. We'll do this thing. So finally, we get this night absolutely started, and his younger siblings are coming over, and or well, they're coming over, and they're here to hang out. So we're watching them while also drinking. Not a good mix. Do not do that. If you're gonna be responsible without doing illegal thing. Please be responsible. End of story. No, I'm just kidding. But anyway, we go. We take like 2 shots each. Bam, done. Down the hatch, gone. And I noticed that it didn't really hit at all. I thought it was gonna be a bit instant. No, it wasn't. So I was chilling. I was like, oh, okay, cool. I don't need to like worry about anything right now, so I can actually settle into it. And I remember his sister brought or had a Switch, and we decided to play Mario Party. And as we're playing Mario Party, I'd say like maybe 20 minutes in, I'm like, I'm not really feeling the drinks anymore, or like anything. Like, I'm not really feeling it. And he's like, don't worry, I got you. This will help. He goes and gets buzz balls. They're the medium sized ones, the medium ones. And okay, I can't say medium. He got the small ones. I don't know. I've seen some huge ones, and I've also seen some like hand sized ones. And he got like two of those. He got me the blue one, him the red one. And I'm looking at this and I'm like, whoa, I've never actually had one of these. Like, I've seen when I was younger, I've seen the grown-ups a lot, drink it a lot. And I remember I was like, wow, I'm actually to the age where like I could just do this now, right? And I'm just like all hyped up. And I was reminiscing while drinking, and I didn't really like the taste of it is very strong, okay? It's kind of like, I don't know how to explain it, but it's very strong, very strong. And it hits me absolutely instantly. The second it went down the hatch, immediately I felt it. And oh, I had two more back to back. I don't know if you know, but the percentage on these things and the age I was not a good combo. I'm I'm sitting there and I'm like, oh man, I do not feel good. And I decide to go have another shot of the sake. Do not do what I just did. I have I've never believed, because I've drinking a lot before that, and I've never had a blackout before. I had a blackout this time. It was awful. The hangover absolutely sucks. Never have one. Please be responsible. I get up, and I just collapse, just fall over. Boom, right there. And I only know this because I was on a Snapchat call with my girlfriend, and she was she she was trying to like talk to me, tell me to get water and stuff like that. And I remember, I think I'm the one that took the snap. I was in the call and I was just holding it and I locked it so it would stay. And for some reason, it's like 10 minutes long. 5 minutes through, I just start throwing up in the bathroom, and that's just the continuous. That's the rest of the video. That's it. Just 5 minutes of just me throwing up, and the other 5 is what led to that. Struggling to get water. What's it called? At one point, I had to be man. I'm not gonna say what that means, but just know I had to be man. And I finally wake up the next morning, and I am absolutely like, I have a throbbing headache. My stomach is on fire. My throat hurts. I am very dehydrated. Just absolutely awful. Never want to do it again. I get up, I get ready. He drives me to my house, and I had to be there by 2. I had to be at work by 2. I officially woke up and started to get ready to go home at like, I think 1:30, and I went in on time. I went to work on time, and that day was just absolutely horrible. It was, I don't regret anything. I really don't. Would I do it again? No, no. But that's all I have to say about that. Pretty fun story. Like, oh, my coworkers that they were laughing at me. They knew what was up. And I even told them. So, cuz I didn't get to go home. I still had to do my shift. Luckily, I got off early that day. But, it was what it was. Thank you. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here. This is definitely something new. I hope you guys enjoy the story. Have a good one.